Hello friends, in today's video I'm going to walk you through 9 actionable items that you can apply today and it will improve your quality of life when it comes to your ukulele or guitar learning journey, especially if you're a fingerstyle player. The first item is getting your string numbers right. Most adult students would look at their fretboard instrument, whether it's a guitar or ukulele, and they would look at it from top to bottom and they would say that this is their top string. So then they would count it as 1, 2, 3, 4, and for the guitar 5 and 6. But the matter of fact is it's the opposite. You start with the lowest string physically, which is oddly enough your top string. So this is your top, that's your bottom, and you go 1, 2, 3, 4. On the guitar, you have a 5 and a 6. And the reason we number strings that way is because we number them according to the register. So this is your highest string when it comes to the register, and this is your lowest string when it comes to the register, even though physically they are upside down. This is especially important if you're a classic guitar player or read from music notation, because when you read from music notations, you don't have the frets as you would when you're reading tabs. So composers, arrangers, or publishers would write numbers inside a circle that look like this. These numbers are string indicators, which mean when you play that note, you have to play it on that string number. So it's absolutely important that you get your string numbers right. And again, that's from top to bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the guitar, 5 and 6. Hello friends, in case you don't know me, my name is Mustafa and this is MK Fingerstyle Academy, a channel dedicated to fingerstyle content when it comes to tabs and arrangements or tutorials and tips such as this one. If you found this video useful and you're thinking, I want to take this to the next level, I really want to dig my fingers deep in fingerstyle, well, look no further. I have the solution for you right here at MK Fingerstyle Academy, and it is my course, Ukulele Fingerstyle Basics. This course has so much content in it, it is impossible for me to summarize in this video, so please check out the link in the video description. But in short, it will take you from the absolute beginner levels of pro grade, which is grade 0, and it will walk you through 40 songs all the way to the end of grade 3, which graduates you into the intermediate levels. How cool is that, to have a structured curriculum that walks you from your literally first baby steps all the way to the end of the beginner level? It happens across 40 songs that teaches you techniques and walks you through step by step through context in those songs to learn those techniques. So if you're interested, check it out, but for now, let's go back to the video. The second thing you want to get right is your finger indications when you're looking at a score. When we play ukulele or guitar with our hands, we're using our right and left hands. For the right hand, we have thumb, index, middle, ring, and we refer to them as P-I-M-A or PIMA. And you've most likely seen PIMA on tabs or tutorials on the internet. For the left hand, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that's it. Sometimes you see in flamenco tabs people using their pinky, but that is only for flamenco and that is for advanced players. If you see a beginner or tutorial on YouTube where the person is recommending you use your pinky, you should have some serious alarm bells ringing in your head, because that is not common in our traditional pedagogy. And I'm referring here specifically to the academic pedagogy that has been passed to us through 500 of years. Of course, every rule has its exceptions. You can use your pinky. Now with the left hand, we usually don't use our thumb to fret some notes. And I've had situations in really advanced classical repertoire where you have to use your thumb. But these situations are so rare, it is not worth giving the thumb a number. Having said that, on the internet, you see a lot of people recommending that you play some chords with your thumb playing the lowest string. I personally don't recommend people do that because it will limit your posture and it will limit you from movement. And that usually comes from bad technique. If you know what you're doing, go ahead and do it. But if you're a beginner adult student, this is the perfect chance to work harder and develop proper posture and technique to be able to play those chords, then refer to the thumb and end up with bad posture and muscle memory. Finger indications, traditionally on a music score, right hand will have letters, P-I-M-A, on top of the notes, while left hand will have numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, to the left of the note. I'm just going to take a quick break from this video and ask for your help. If you've enjoyed this video and are learning from it, then please help me make it more visible to other students by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. These will help me improve the video when it comes to the algorithm and how it is ranked, and makes it more visible to other students. Better yet, make sure you comment, tell me what you're liking, tell me if you're discovering stuff for the first time. So yeah, like, subscribe, and comment down below. Now, let's go back to the video. Moving on to the third item on the list, that is assigning your right hand fingers Pima, P-I-M-A, to the 4 strings on the ukulele, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, I talk about this a lot in my Ukulele Fingerstyle Basics course, where I teach you the proper technique for the right hand, and I mention it all the time on my tutorials on this YouTube channel. But a lot of adult students, when they go on YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook, they see this advice made by non-professionals that tell them to assign their P-I-M-A to strings 4, 3, 2, 1, and then students would then make the conclusion that this is the technique for playing fingerstyle on the ukulele. That is wrong. P-I-M-A assigned to strings 4, 3, 2, 1 apply to certain situations and contexts where it's proper to play like that. And the best example I can think of is my arrangement of Ode to Joy by Beethoven, where you can assign Pima, P-I-M-A, to the 4 strings and be able to play the whole piece. However, in most pieces, even starting from the prep grade, which is grade 0 on this channel, even at those pieces, you have to change your technique where you assign your fingers according to context. Sometimes your bass finger has to play the bass notes that are on strings 4, 3, and sometimes even 2. In that case, you can't use your other fingers, you have to use your bass finger to have a consistent volume and tone. Same thing when it comes to playing melody notes that are repeating on the same string. If you assign your fingers, you'll end up with a bad technique of repeating the finger on one string, when in reality, you should be alternating your right hand fingers. Moving on to our next tip, here is something that a lot of adult students struggle with, especially if they have already strummed or developed strumming technique through tutorials from the internet. And that is your posture, specifically speaking for the left hand. The posture for the right hand usually suffers as well, but that I'll cover in the next video. For now, let's focus on the left hand. Most people, when they learn strumming, naturally you would learn the basic chords, the easy ones, you know, F, C, A major, A minor, and so on. All these chords share one thing between them. They are all in the first position. That is to say, you're playing right here with your left hand. And the common wisdom on the internet is that you have to hold the weight of the ukulele with your left hand by holding it through your wrist, curling your thumb around it to make sure the ukulele doesn't fall. And I understand that intuition. I don't know if you noticed, I'm using a strap to not use my hand to hold the ukulele at all. But I understand the intuition that if you're not using a strap, that you just want to hold the ukulele, because if you don't, it's going to fall. And this is the same thing for the guitar, by the way, not just the ukulele. We have this intuition that tells us protect the instrument, but often this intuition ends up causing bad habits and bad muscle memory. See, what happens when you hold the ukulele like that is now your left hand is trapped in bad posture, but also trapped. You can't move it. And sure, you can get away with strumming those simple basic chords, but as soon as you start needing to play some complicated chord shapes, this anchoring posture will limit your ability to move. But the more prohibiting thing is that as soon as you go into grade 2, 3, 4, or 5, you start encountering higher positions with different chord shapes. And if you're used to anchoring your hand here and never leaving this spot, which is the first position, you'll have difficulty learning the higher up positions like the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, or 10th positions. On the ukulele, 11th and 12th are just too small, so let's not worry about that. So the point is, you need to develop the proper left-hand posture that allows you to play across all positions. And my philosophy is this: strumming, or professionally strumming, or playing fingerstyle are 3 different techniques that require different effort. But I think it's wrong to develop 3 different postures that serve 3 different techniques, when in reality you only need to develop one posture that allows you to do everything that you want to do. And again, that is the posture that I teach in my Ukulele Fingerstyle Basics course, the link in the description. And if you watch any of my YouTube videos and tutorials, you'll see my left hand flying across all different positions with ease without being restricted to the open position. Moving on to our next tip, if you're a beginner student and have already started playing and have tried to play a few melodies or a few fingerstyle arrangements but sound bad, there's a good chance you're not playing in legato. It's very important you understand the meaning of legato, but not just as a word, but also as a sonic result, so that if you don't do it, you can hear it and then start fixing it. And that applies for both the ukulele and the guitar. Legato simply means that when you play a note to the other, those notes are connected. So this note going from the F to the G, I'm going to disconnect them by playing. Notice how I stop the F to go to the G. Playing it in legato means the F to the G are connected. There's no pause in between them. Now this is neat. I'm playing two notes out of context. As soon as you start adding a bass line or accompaniment, or you have a difficult melody to play with lots of frets, or maybe it's too fast, you then start having problems coordinating between your right hand and left hand. What you have to do is you have to develop this coordination through some scale exercises, or figure out some problems inside your repertoire to have some context when it comes to learning legato. And I teach both of those contexts in my courses. Make sure you click on the link in the description if you're interested. Now here's something I see happen all the time on forums and discussions on social media. People getting the meaning of fingerstyle wrong. They think fingerstyle simply means playing with your right hand. And while historically that is correct, it means something more in today's time. See, if you go back in history 500 or 600 years, you would have with the viola three terms that became popular at the time as we move from the viola to the Renaissance guitar and then the Baroque guitar. And these three terms are the style of playing strumming, the style of playing with a bow, and the style of playing with our fingers. The bow is obviously not meant for the guitar or the ukulele, and that means to more instruments similar to the violin, where you're using a bow to play those instruments. So let's not discuss these for now. But the style of strumming, the raschiato, just simply means the strumming as you know it from popular culture, strumming your chords. The style of fingerstyle means you are playing with your fingers. Having said that, if you walk into a pub 500 years ago and tell everybody that you're playing fingerstyle by using your right hand and playing a melody like this, they will all be very confused and kick you out of the pub. See, back in the day, composers, musicians, and the public understood that when you play in fingerstyle, what that really meant is that you're playing polyphonic, multi-layered music. That is to say, you're playing a melody, accompaniment, and a bass line at the same time. And these layers interact with each other in what we now call fingerstyle. Having said that, in popular culture, again, because of all these forums and all these different opinions that are available without vetting, it means that people have come to understand fingerstyle as simply playing with your fingers. That is true, but the true meaning of fingerstyle, as I discuss it in this video, is you playing multi-layered music on your ukulele or guitar. That is to say, you are playing a melody, an accompaniment, and a bass line at the same time. Speaking about the true meaning of fingerstyle, if you learn a melody alone, then that is not fingerstyle. For example, if I play Ode to Joy, yes, I am playing a melody, and yes, I am using my right hand fingers, and yes, I've worked really hard to be able to play this piece at this level, but that doesn't mean I have played it in fingerstyle, because I am playing a single layer only. So watch out whenever you hear solos or blues improvisations or a solo layer rendition of a piece, that you don't fall for the trick and think it is fingerstyle. Speaking about fingerstyle, let's move to the next tip, and that is you being able to identify proper fingerstyle published sources. See, fingerstyle, because it's multi-layered, the published music has to show you those layers, and we usually do that with stem directions. Stems pointing up are usually your melody line and its harmonizing line, and stems pointing down are usually your bass notes and accompaniment notes. And this means the arranger or the composer has to work a little bit more at the notation process to reflect those layerings, because if they don't, then we don't know which note is supposed to be what, and if you know how to read tabs properly, you'll end up confused as to how to finger these notes, because if you knew which layer it belongs to, you might make different fingering choices by either letting go too early or holding on to the note a little bit too long. But what I see on the internet, sadly, is that most resources on the internet, especially for the ukulele, this problem doesn't happen as often for the guitar, but especially for the ukulele, we end up with many resources that notate the whole thing as if it is a one layer, and you, the student, are supposed to figure it out on your own. But guess what? If you're a beginner student, and even if you're intermediate, you don't have the necessary skills to identify those layers and learn this piece properly. So do your research and make sure you get your published tabs and books from people that you trust that notate their music in a polyphonic way. And the easiest way to tell that is when you look at the music notation. Even if you don't know how to read it, you will see some stems pointing up and some stems pointing down. If together we all do this, then we will elevate the status of ukulele from a toy instrument or a hobby instrument to a serious academic instrument, because we are demanding that the music is notated properly. So please do your part and ask more of your favorite content creator. Moving on to the last tip, it is something that I'm a little bit hesitant about talking about because I believe in it, but also know that it can do a lot of damage to you. And that is, watch out what you read on social media when it comes to the ukulele learning community. First, I think the ukulele and guitar learning communities are wonderful for adult students to come together and share their experiences. Having said that, and this happens more on the guitar than the ukulele, we can get very opinionated and stubborn about what we think we know, especially if we have tried it 20 years ago and it worked for us, and now we think that is the pure way of learning. The matter of the fact is, learning how to play correctly is an art form. So when you go online and you ask questions or see others posting questions and you read the answers, it might not be the correct advice. My best recommendation is that you pick 2 or 3 content creators that you trust, you like what they do, and then you go and you subscribe to them, join their Patreon, purchase their courses, or take private lessons from them and trust their advice. And everything you read online will become sort of your option C or option D, not even option B, option C or D when it comes to learning technique. And I see this happen all the time. Adults will start following the advice of their peers, but their peers are beginners and they have no idea what's going on, so they will start teaching you bad habits. So they will start teaching you things with good intention, but teaching you things with bad pedagogy that simply don't work, and then you end up with bad muscle memory, and then you have to pay even more money to go and fix these bad habits, delete it from your brain and system, and then build the proper habits. My best advice is go to a professional and start developing proper technique right from the start. Trust me, you will be spending some money right now, but you will be saving a lot down the road, and you'll be saving the most important thing that you have in your life: time. Alright friends, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to improve your technique on the ukulele, make sure to watch this video that I made specifically for you, and it will be a nice follow-up to this video. So make sure you click here. I want you to go there right now. Don't leave me hanging. I'll just see you over there.